Hello, you beautiful sinners. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Psynergic, and today it is the finale of My Beautiful Man. Now, finales are always bittersweet. I mean, on one hand, you get to see the ending of this series that you've enjoyed, and on the other hand, you're not going to be able to see it anymore because it's ending. God, I feel like I'm traumatized already. Jeez. This has been a series that I didn't necessarily, I just happened upon it. I didn't know it was I didn't know it existed when it first came out. I just, logged in and found it and just really enjoyed it. And here we are already 6 weeks later. I've thoroughly enjoyed this series. I'm interested to see how this kind of pans out, how this finishes. I'm excited to see what happens, how this story concludes. Before we begin that though, typical YouTuber things, hit that like button if you enjoy this, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also a special shout out, thank you to someone, literally someone who wished to remain anonymous, who just bought me 3 coffees on buymeacoffee.com. So feel free if you are so inclined. Without further ado, let's watch this finale. Sad face. Without further dudes, let's go. Doko. Oh, we going right into it. This awkwardness. Skida. He is so cute. I care. I care. It is. Yeah. Well, that's going a bit far.
ヒラが好きだった人って清居くんなんだろうん。そんなやつのどこが好きなんだよ。説明できない。
It's hard to explain.
さよなら。
Aw.
ヒラ。
Sayonara. The final episode. Oh.
過去の話を聞いてもらえますか。もちろん聞くよ。
清居。そこからインしてセリフだろ。
すいません。
集中して。
はい。
What are you doing? Oh.
皆さん、僕の過去の話を聞いてもらえますか。
This is gonna be awkward.
もちろんです。
ありがとうございます。
はい。一旦休憩しよう。集中切れちゃってるわ。
ありがとうございます。
セリフ読み直して、そこからまた同じとこからやる。はい。本当に。
Ooh, it's awkward.
うん、もう大丈夫。
ありがとう。明日空いてない？実はさ、スタッフの一人が休み出ちゃってさ。
あ、そうなんだ。
もしよかったら手伝ってくんねえかなみたいな。
多分大丈夫。
え？マジ？
He is so cute. Look at him. He's handsome. You gonna talk to him? What are you gonna say? I can smell this place, and I love that smell. It smells like a basement, right? And that's a good smell to me. It's a very homey smell to me.
清居くん。俺、
Whether it actually smells like that, I have no idea.
ヒラに告白したよ。
お前らが付き合おうが、どうなろうが、俺にはどうでもいい。
Yes, you do.
ほんと。ヒラって卑屈で優柔不断で、そのくせ変なところで頑固で勝手だよね。嫌そうな顔。
Oh.
どうでもいいって言いながら、
Mm-hmm.
口聞くと不機嫌になるんだね。ヒラ、写真を撮ったことがある人は人生でたった一人って言ってた。 すごく綺麗な人って理由なんてないけど好きなんだって。
お前何が言いてんだよ。
What do you think? Come on!
人には幸せになってほしい。
Ah,
ただそれだけ。
oh, come on, man. Did I just hit my mic? I did. I'm sorry. Come on, man. That was, he deserves so much. Can somebody give him my number, please? I'm playing, guys. I'm playing. It's a character, guys. I got it. Thank you. We don't know this number.
もしもし。
Hey, careful. Don't trip over the floor. It's so funny compared to like the Instagram videos with him in. He's like so goofy. In a very cute way.
小山がキラ君は絶対だからって。はい。好きだ。
I'm filing that one into my word bank for the day that I get to say it to somebody. If.
これは稽古場。
あ、俺行きますよ。
あれいいね。でもこの量じゃあそこのひらくんだっけ。これ一緒にいてあげて。あ、それこっちのだから。持って。
Hi, hello. Oh, come on.
よいしょ。じゃあ一旦ここ置いて。はい、置いちゃって。そしたらあの辺にまとめて置いててくれたらいいや。うん。よろしく。はい。
Hey, why don't you do it? I got the hiccups. I got coffee hiccups.
おい、
Hi.
なんでまた俺の前に現れんだよ。
言葉が出なくなる。なんと言えばいい。
Just say
もういい。帰れば。
stop.
もううっせえ。
Hey. Saved your life.
大丈夫。
Ow. He's flipping me off. Don't do it. Oh. Is he? That's both hot and gross at the same time. I didn't think it was possible. I thought he was gonna deep throat it. Oh, what? What? You had the green light! What? It was totally green! You had...
どうかしてたって。急にこんなことするなんて。
俺はお前の何なの？
世界で一番好きな人。
じゃあ俺と付き合いたいって思うのか？
思わない。
Huh?
なんで？キングだから。
Oh.
俺はそれに仕える人間だから。
That's kinky. That's kinky.
あ、そういうこと。よくわかったわ。
Oh.
お前、恋人でもないやつにこんなことすんのかよ。
No. No, don't say.
ごめん。でも、もうしないから。
もう俺に関わんなよ。お
Oh.
前が理想の俺を追いかけるのは構わないけど、現実の俺のことはもうほっといてくれ。俺の気持ち、お前には一生わかんねえと思う。
そうだよ。俺なんかに清居の気持ちは分かんないよ。
そうかもな。俺にもお前の気持ちわかんねえよ。
待って、
話せよ。
嫌だ。これで最後になる気がするから嫌だ。
お前は俺がお前のこと好きだって一回でも考えたことあんのかよ。
ありえない。
ヒラから何度もメッセージが入っていた。すべてが謝罪で、すべてが的外れだった。自分から思いを
Oh.
結ば
You're
れると
looking
信じ
good.
あいつは俺が告白したなんて思っていないのだろう。もうそれでいい。さっさと忘れよ
僕はどういう人間だったんですか。
う。売れてないながらも毎日稽古やオーディションに追われることで時間を埋められた。ありがたかった。
Ah, he is so cute. Ugh.
ごめん。迷惑だと思うから、これで連絡するのは最後にします。今晩は清居が助けてくれた場所で、
Aw.
清居への思いを捧げようと思います。
Aw.
清居のことを思うのは今日で最後にします。
Hmm. He's very expressive in his
俺は
eyes.
もう
I like it.
この気持ちを終わらせるんだ。
ケイ君、終わったらドラマのプロデューサーとご飯なんだけど来ない？
そろそろ再開します。
It's decision time!
予定あんだよこの後。
今日最優先でやってよ、お願いだよ。
稽古スケジュールと違うじゃん。
Hira.
清居は来なかった。来るはずがない。これが現実だ。
That was my Japanese lesson reminder. It's funny, I know. Ironic, right? Hmm. How did he get into this place? I'm just now realizing this. Like, was it just unlocked?
清居の目から
What is the world?
どんな世界が見えるんだろう。
Oh. I was just ending at what is the world?
このまま新しい朝を迎えよう。そしたら忘れるんだ。一生分愛した人を。
Doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
待って
This man is running away from
思い
everything.
出にしたくない。自分が気持ち悪いことなんて分かってる。
What the hell?
それでもこの気持ちに嘘はつけない。清居は憧れで自分勝手で、だからこそ清居という存在に俺は救われた。今までの清居もこれから知っていく清居も全てを抱きしめたい。
I forgot about that.
話せよ好きな清居本当に今日で終わりにしようと思ったんだ。なのにお前は本当にメールも電話もしてくんだよ。ごめんごめん
This is the weirdest confession ever.
そうやって無神経に近づく入ってくれると忘れらんねえんだよ。
Aww.
何がキングだふざけんなよ。俺はそんなんじゃねえ。普通なんだよ。
Yes. Tell him, King. Oh, I almost called you
好き
King.
な人と付き合いたいし触れ合いたい。普通の男なんだよ。
Yes.
清居は好きな人がいるの。お前だよ。何回も
Dumb. Come on. He's already told you this.
本当こんなことで嘘つくわけねえだろ。卒業式の日俺からキスしただろうが。
Yeah, he also pushed him though.
お前は追いかけても来ねえし、あんなに好き好き言ってたのにもうわけわかんねえよ。なんで清居は俺なんかのこと。そんなん俺が知りてえよ。本当わかんねえ。先に好きって言ってきたのはお前なのに。あんな目で見つめてきてキスもして、なのに電話番号変えられた時の俺の気持ちお前にわかんのかよ。清居平のくせにふざけんな。お前なんかしない。俺は清居が好きで好きでたまらなくて、そんな神様みたいに思ってるのに自分の手が届くなんて思わなくて。俺は神様じゃねえよ。清居俺清居に触っていいかな。
Consent.
今までと同じなら
やだ。
I just got chill from that, dude.
清居、好きだ。
Oh. Oh, oh. 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 Oh, we doing this? Oh, we're doing this. We're doing this. Let me Is that metaphor? Is it?
お前さ、写真以外になんか大切なもんとかないの？
ああ、清居との時間。
痛い。物だよ物。
どうして？
なんか知りたいなって思って。
かわいい。
It is though. It's okay.
フラスコに貯めた小銭。
Changing the oh.
高校の頃、清居に頼まれてジンジャーエール買いに行ってたじゃん。その時、清居がくれた小銭を貯めて、家にあった綺麗なフラスコに入れてる。
俺、なんでお前みたいなキモいやつ。
Tsundere. I love it. I love it.
もう一回言って。しつこい。もう貯めないから。もう貯めないから。もう一回言って。
ほんと。
No. This is not long enough. Oh. Listen, I can't handle all of this. I cannot handle this. I cannot handle it. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me. I don't want that to be the end. That can't be it, right? That cannot be it. That is not satisfying enough. I want more. That's not enough. That is not enough. Give me more, my beautiful man. And by the way, that end scene, I really wish that there was more to this. Yusai has definitely come out of nowhere and just like completely killed me in so many different ways. Riku as well is very talented. I love watching their Instagram videos, their Twitter videos, like all of their videos, and just watching like how he is outside of his character. It's like he's trying to get like all of the energy out during those like in between scenes, and then like he just plays this Hira very well. Yusai is just, he came out of nowhere. Like you know, a few weeks ago I had no idea who this man was, and then he just comes in and just kills my heart, and now I'm like in love with the man. You know, this series was very good. I liked it. I liked it a lot, and there were some haters, 100%. Let me speak to that a little bit. I did do a separate video where I did an entire thing about it. I didn't really like it too much. I think what this story does very beautifully, see what I did there, is it shows two different perspectives. And I'm gonna say this as somebody who, you know, has done couples therapy, has, you know, when you're in a relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship relationship, a strictly platonic, familial relationship, there are always two different perspectives on one situation. And here's the thing, not everybody is wrong. I think we tend to a lot of people come into these, my way is definitely the correct way, but once you start studying the brain and understanding how our perception of the world works, you soon come to realize that oftentimes there is a bit of truth and a bit of falsity. Well, not falseness. You know, there's a bit of truth on both sides. And that's not to say that some of the actions were okay or anything like that. It's to say that I think the end here highlighted it quite well in saying that, you know, as much as we might like Hira and we might sympathize with him a bit, at the end of the day, he never considered how Kioi felt, right? Like he never even stopped to consider that. And I think that was beautifully played here at the end in, you know, our final couple of scenes here. He never took that time to understand. He is, and that's understandable because of his character. He is much more of that internalized kind of thinker. He's not much of a speaker for a lot of reasons, you know, his anxiety, but also, you know, he has a stuttering issue. And so oftentimes, you know, those individuals will, of course, be a little bit more internalized, will do most of their communicating inside their own head and not outside to others. We see that in a lot of introverted individuals as well. I'm a bit more like that than I am expressive, though you guys probably can't understand that, or you definitely don't see it, because quite frankly, if I don't speak into the mic, nothing will happen. Like dead YouTube channel, clearly. But you often see this in therapeutic settings though too. Like you have this couple who may have had an argument about a specific event and they have two different versions, and both versions, you know, they might not line up, and that doesn't mean that they're necessarily wrong. It is their perception. It is their feelings. And I think what this series did beautifully, Hira, he's a very internalized person, so those first 4 episodes were very much him in his own head most of the time, just trying to figure out everything. He was a bit more like, I know that I like this man, period. Kioi, on the other hand, you know, he was a popular guy. He was like that stereotypical, like, he could get anybody he wanted. But he ended up falling for this guy who just was a bit of the oddball, the stalker. It came out of nowhere for him, right? So there was a lot of internal struggle there. I mean, we also heard that, you know, he never felt like he was loved in his family, etc., etc. The idea of this person, Hira, just liking him that much would have felt really good to him, I think. And it may have even been like we saw in whatever episode that as soon as he didn't win that contest or whatever, his friends completely bailed on him. It can make you feel very lonely, and as if he didn't feel lonely enough. But there's one person who still stuck by him. And I think if you identify within the LGBTQ community, you can understand the feelings of being super confused at that. I know I was whenever I started coming to the realization that I liked guys. And then you go through at least I did, I went through the struggle of not accepting that within myself, trying to change that within myself. We didn't see that with Kioi, but nevertheless, who knows what was going on internally with him. We only had like one episode where we got to see his perspective. And that was a very telling episode. Episode 5 was very good at showing us, well, one, telling us his backstory a little bit, but also showing that, you know, he was struggling. That's not to say that, you know, kicking somebody is the appropriate reaction or pushing them down after you kiss them is the appropriate reaction or action. That is to say that there is a struggle going on within him. And ultimately, you know, after Hira confessed, as Kioi said, you know, he confessed first, he kissed, he did all of these things, was very confused and still went out and kissed him and confessed, kind of. It wasn't a very good one, but they were also in high school. You're not the best at expressing yourself in high school, let's be real. And so, like, this 6 episodes were coming from 2 different perspectives, and that's what I took away from this, is it's coming from 2 different perspectives. We mostly saw Hira, but we did see a little bit of Kyoi's perspective, and ultimately, what would have saved them is, are you ready? Can you guess it? Do you know what I'm gonna say here? What would have saved them? Open and honest communication. But that's why I continue to say it, right? Is that, you know, if they were able to express their own emotions to each other, a large part of this would have been solved early, right? And that's cool, but again, it's excusable, they were in high school. I also want to point out that some of these individuals who had negative comments would also cite things that were probably definitely mistranslated, but also somebody explained to me kicking, like the history of the different physical, I guess, reactions, in that the kicking of the shins is to be seen a little bit differently than, let's say, you know, a slap or a punch, in that if you hit somebody in the stomach, I think they said that means they want to fight, like fight. But if it's a kick, it's more like I'm emotional, and this is why I'm emotional, right? I thoroughly enjoyed this. I enjoyed this for a number of different reasons. Yes, I fell in love with Yusei, seriously. If you ever actually see this, hi. It's nice to see you. Feel free to slide into my DMs anytime. For a friendly chat, guys. I'm assuming, well, assumptions are terrible, but yes, I enjoy you, you're a fantastic person. But I'm also like, I'm also a very friendly guy. And I love making new friends, so feel free to slide into my DMs and we'll chat. Actually, any of them. Any single one of these characters could do that and I'd still be like, hey, what's up? It's funny, like there was an innocence to this at the end, in particular, like the love scene, etc. It was cute. Oh my god, that ending scene though. Ooh. But there is also like, I always find it funny when people, well, I don't find it funny, I find it a little disturbing whenever there is like any sort of kinkiness in any sort of relationship and people are like, "Bruh, I don't like that. I'm a prude." And I'm like, sit down, Prudence. We don't need any of you. We've had enough of that. Let people explore their own sexuality. I'm glad that you're happy with your vanilla-ness. But seriously, guys, like, yeah, I mean, yes, you can say whatever you want about the kicking or whatever, fine. But, like, get over it. Like, yes, there is a sort of dominance in this relationship. Get over it. That's reality. Build a fence and get over it, you turd. Lastly, like, no relationship is perfect. I know that some of you all are just used to certain other BLs where everything is all like roses and cherry farts and ice cream cones and, oh man, I stubbed my toe, so I'm gonna be upset about this. But that's not reality. Like, I love those series. Don't get me wrong. I love those series too, but I know that they're not realistic. Having been in serious relationships in the past and seeing many other couples, I can tell you, not reality. I'm sorry to burst that romanticized bubble for you, but it's not reality. It hardly ever, I'm not gonna say never, but it hardly ever works out like that. I'm not saying that he should hit. I think that there is inherently things that are gonna be lost in translation, whether it's body language is language. Language is language. There's always inherently something differently meaning in these series. If you're watching in English, you have nothing to say here. If you're not Japanese, if you are not a native Japanese speaker, you can't be upset about that stuff. Like, I recognize fully that whenever I go into these series, there's always going to be something lost in the translation. That is translation of the body language, that is translation of the actual subtitles. There's always something going to be missing. Now, some translations are better than others. There were a lot of complaints about the translations of this particular version of the series, and that's valid. I can't say anything to that because I'm not a native speaker, so I would have no idea. I get it. Koyama was sweet and fantastic, but do you think that that doesn't happen in real life? Like, seriously, there are fantastically sweet, wonderful people who just can't like them back, and that happens literally all the time. I recognize that you would like for that to happen and you ship that, cool, but it's reality. This is a little bit more realistic in saying that they don't always end up together. I get it. He's sweet, seriously. DMs. But at the end of the day, like, that's realistic. It happens all the time. You can't help who you fall in love with. And if your heart is not there if you just go with this person, you're not doing them any favors. You're not doing yourself any favor. You're just setting them up to be heartbroken even harder later down the road. That's the reality. So you can say whatever you want about Koyama and Hira. I get it. They would have been fantastic. Koyama deserves a lot, but he also deserves somebody who loves him back. I love the series. It was a fantastic series. I'm sad that it's done. I hope that there's more. I would love for there to be more. And it's definitely within my, I don't know, top 10, top 5, I don't know. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I really sincerely appreciate you all. Do take care. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. And I will see you in another series. Bye.